I think the U.S.-China relations since Trump administrations have been very closely watched by Chinese in China, because since Nixon established U.S.-China relations, this relationship has operated under one assumption, that is recognizing China is one, not two, not recognizing Taiwan independently in China. So mainland China and Taiwan as a one-country policy, that's what they said it. So when Trump was elected, first thing he did is he said, why should we be sticking to one country policy? Now that freaked out the whole Chinese.
That was a big deal.
And luckily, 2 months later, I think he changed his mind. He realized one China policy is still important, and he reassured the world that he'll continue with that. So I think that paved the way for this meeting to take place.
I want to talk right into it in terms of your empowering, inspiring.
Of all the horrible things you heard about Mao, one thing he did well was to raise the women's standard. He used to say women can raise half the sky. And so men and women all worked equally. When I grew up, my parents, I never heard about women don't work. Everybody worked. And men and women got equal pay, equal jobs, equal education. So that, I think, was good for Chinese women. My generation grew up in that environment, never thought that women could do any other thing but to work.
And you've truly changed the skyline in Beijing. Take a look.
Well, US real estate today is very hot. It's expensive. The time to get in was a few years ago. When I came into this country and invested in the buildings, it was back in 2009 and 2010. Today, you have, because interest rate has been running at so low for so long, so that has driven the asset prices up so much so that I think it's too expensive to invest.
Are you going to get to? But I love what you said once. You said,
Well, I think the U.S. economy is very strong. China's still growing at close to 7% GDP per year. I don't see a collapse of real estate market. I do see this is a time to be patient. If you have a real estate, it's great. You're holding a high price asset. But if you don't have, you want to invest, and this is time to wait.
You build and put new money into real estate.
In China and US, if you look at the last 20 years, this has been the most complementary economy in terms of partnership. United States had a lot of capital. China had a lot of labor. China needed the capital, United States needs to invest the capital. So that has been very easy marriage, partnership. But by doing so, China has become the factory of the world. And it's taken a lot of the jobs away. But as a result, it produces a lot of cheap stuff, which benefits the rest of the world. So if you want to reverse that trend, well, first of all, I don't know if it is possible to reverse that trend, because that's just a natural for any manufacturer to go to a place that's cheaper to produce. But I think that's very much the issue Trump has been talking about.
I want to ask you about real estate in China today. But first, let's take a look at some of your work, Xin.